So you do executive coaching. You also do transition coaching. Could you explain a little bit about what that is and why that might be relevant today?
Yeah, sure. So it's actually very relevant during this time because the climate is the way the climate is. People are having to do outplacement. So it's outplacement and career transition for
Okay.
your people. So for organizations, it's really relevant, right? Executives are behind the closed doors figuring out if they need to do a layoff, when they need to do a layoff, what the layoffs will look like in certain waves, and how long they can keep everyone or what impact they could even perhaps make across the board to try to keep people, but maybe,
Mm-hmm.
everyone across the board takes a hit on their 401k match or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but people are having to do layoffs and career transition. And it's relevant because, first of all, energy is moving forward or it's coming back at you. So, what career transition outplacement looks like, first of all, coaching packages, right? So, you've got a career transition package for higher levels of the organization, or maybe a workshop and maybe, a type of contribution, but to a lesser degree
Mm-hmm.
to other layers of the organization. But regardless, it is helping provide those people that are put in this terrible situation that you probably feel like, oh my gosh, right? Because you're amazing leaders. So you care about your people.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's helping them get on to a new chapter. And we help with everything. Oh my goodness, the whole process and really meet people where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
We teach them how to communicate their transferable skills. We help with resume creation, social media strategy, third parties, identifying opportunities. And some people are hiring, some
Mm.
people are
Oh yeah.
landing
Mm-hmm.
positions. So it's not that everyone's shut down, but if you happen to be an organization that has to help people get on, doing the right thing by supporting them, it protects your company because energy that's not moving forward is usually sitting around and thinking of ways that it can come back at you. And you put
Mm-hmm.
people in a terrible situation like that, and there will be a domino effect, right? Trash talking in the organization, potential lawsuits, maybe you left the company exposed in some way, and so you're likely thinking about those things. So from a legality standpoint and a humanity standpoint,
Mm.
it's a wonderful investment to be making if you are putting people in that situation. So yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah. No, I think that that's a really human service and just very practical business uh, service because it creates engagement. And in prior conversations we've had, we talked about, or you've talked about the fact that you've got people in the organization that were friends of those people who left. Or had good relationships with them, so they're looking at them as like, how did they get treated? So the remaining people that were still there, that survived the layoff or the furlough or for whatever reason they're still there, they're looking, how well was that person treated? And that gives them a big sense of, how am I going to be treated? So if you want to retain, not just retain, but retain their engagement, which is discretionary effort, you want all of their effort, not just one hand tied behind their back, you want both hands on the wheel, and at work, then I think it makes an awful lot of sense.
Yes, Gary, I'm so glad that you just brought that up. I left that out here, and it's a huge piece of it. So, sure, even the people that didn't get turned are looking to see, and maybe they understand with the times. Oh man,
Mm-hmm.
they're thinking in their head, "Uh-oh, am I next?" And so when you're turning back, right, from the layoff and saying, "Okay, so we're here," that is putting your company in a situation where it's going to be, they're proactively looking for something else because they are fearful that they're going to get laid off. Also, what you just triggered in me to think about, guys, we should be thinking about this, whether you are doing a layoff or not. don't just think about it in the short term, right? The short term, oh, we can't be paying out all these salaries. We don't have money coming in.
Mm,
Take that obviously into consideration. That's relevant, but also consider your long-term game here. If you have made a tremendous investment to get people with a hard to find skill set, you've right,
mm-hmm,
investing in recruiters. Oh, these people are difficult to find. They're wonderful. And so when things get back to normal or the new
mm-hmm,
normal, when you're
mm-hmm,
thriving again,
mm-hmm.
what you're doing right now is directly impacting your brand in terms of how it is that people are going to consider or not consider working for you again. So
Yeah,
perhaps, hopefully, you're keeping that in mind, but just a reminder, think about
yeah.
this like a long term game here. It's a
Mm-hmm.
long term game plan, not just handling what needs to be handled right now so that the business is.
Yeah, that's so important. And when you say that, it reminds me of a concept I talk about, which is like attraction gravity. So an organization, we're kind of like planets. Each organization is kind of like a planet, and it has its own level of attraction. And we've got talent that's orbiting that. And to the extent that we can maximize that attraction, that's how we treat people, the degree to which we have good, competent managers that treat them well. We've got a great vision and a purpose, all that those all are additive, and reputation in the community. Those are
Yep.
all additive. And to the degree that we let our own gravity, we can do that to ourselves, diminish, then the bonds decrease, and more likely that our talent that's revolving around us might migrate and go someplace else. That, you know, especially the talent that we don't want. That's the toughest part, and the most attractive talent often will be have the most attraction to something else. So it's just a good thing to do.
Yes.
So when
Which
you're
brings us back to leadership. How are we showing up when we're strapped, when
huge,
we're in a tough situation? This
huge.
is when people are paying attention to it, your leadership more than ever. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, they had a lot more things to be thinking about or be occupied with several weeks ago, and yeah, people are honing in a lot. Okay,